Good morning, students. So today's class we are going to see about how to write an embedded C program in Kale Microvision. So first I will give some introduction about embedded C program. So why program 8051 in embedded C? So compared to assembly, the C programming is less time consuming, but the disadvantage of this embedded C is that it has larger hex file size. Okay, so these are some of the reason for writing programs in embedded C. So the first reason is that it is easier and less time consuming to write in assembly than the write in C then assembly program. And also it is easier to modify and update. Suppose if you want to update any applications, we can easily modify the code, and also you can use code available in function library. That is an important thing of your important feature of your embedded C. So it will provide many function libraries. So user can make use of these libraries in order to develop a real-time applications. Okay, and C code is portable to other microcontroller also. So with little of library modifications or header file modification, so it is portable to any other microcontrollers. So these are some of the reasons for writing programs in embedded C. So please note down the data types which are used in embedded C programs. So there are two types of declaring your data. That is, one is byte data declaration and bit data declaration. To access the byte size SFR register, we have to use first four types. That is unsigned character. So the range is 0 to 255. Signed character, the size is 8-bit. So the data range from -128 to +127. For unsigned int 16-bit, the range is from 0 to 65536. And signed int 16-bit minus 32,768 to 32,767. Please note down all the data types in order to access your byte data. Or in case of bit data, that is, if you want to access individual port bits, individual bit addressable register, for that case, you have to use S-bit declaration. So it define one bit of data. So SFR bit addressable only. So it's these three formats only for special function register, that is memory locations from 22 to F. Please note down the data types. So for accessing byte size SFR register, you have to use first four data types, remaining for bit addressable memory spaces. So this is the structure of your embedded C program. Here you have to define your header file, that is include your header file, #include register 51.h. This 51 is nothing but your 8051 microcontroller. So this 51 refers your 8051 microcontroller. Suppose if you are selecting 52, you have to give register 52.h. Okay, and this space you can define all your global variables. For example, if you are accessing P1.1, for that case, you have to assign one variable to P1.1. So pin 1.1 can be represented in this way. P1 cap 1, which means that P1.1. So you have to assign a variable. So that variable can be used entire program, entire in your program. Okay. So instead of P1.1, you have to use A inside your main. Okay. And next one is the main. Here you can define all your local variables, that is unsigned character, int, unsigned character, etc. And next loop is you have to write all your logic inside this while one. So this while one is nothing but, in our assembly we are using SJMP. So this SJMP will create infinite loop. So similar to that, here you have to repeat the process every time. So while one, you have to include while one here. So this is the structure to be followed in your embedded C programs. Okay. So first define your header file. Next assign your global variables, and inside your main define your local variable and include your logic inside your while one loop. Okay. So please note down this program. Write an 8051 program to toggle embedded C program to toggle bits of port 1 continuously forever with some delay. Okay. So first step, hash include register 51.h. Okay. Next, void main void. So we have to toggle P1 port. Okay. For that we have to move either 00 and FF to port 1 or 55 AA to port 1. So that is the logic behind this program. Either you can move 00 or FF for toggling the individual ports, or 55 AA, alternate bit toggling. This will provide alternate bit toggling. This will provide entire bit toggling. Okay. So here include while loop. While one, open. So P1 is equal to 0x55. So this is the syntax to be followed for assigning 8-bit data to particular port. P1 is equal to 0x55. Here you have to generate some amount of delay. After that, P1 is equal to 0xAA. After that, generate some amount of delay, close. So compared to assembly, so embedded C is very simple to write your coding. We need not follow any syntax or instruction format, whether it is a single byte instruction or 2-byte instruction. So there is no need of referring all the syntax and instruction format. Directly you can assign your value to a particular port or register. Okay. So just look at the program given here. So toggle P1 forever with some delay in between on and off. Okay. So first define your header file, and inside main I'm using unsigned int x. So this x is for generating some amount of delay. Here I have included one for loop. So this delay size is unknown. Randomly I have chosen this value, and continuously this loop will get executed from 0 to 40,000. So first I am moving 55 to P1. Next include a for loop. Again I am moving AA to P1 and include for loop. Okay. So this program is used to toggle the bits of P1 continuously with some unknown delay. Okay. Any doubts? up to this. What about remaining students? Any doubts? The first program, Embedded C program. Okay. So next, let's execute this code in Kale Microvision. So here I am moving 0, 0, FF. Either you can move 0, 0, FF or 50.
Screen is visible, ma'am.
1 second, 1 second.
Screen is
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
So here I am moving 0, 0 and FF. Okay. So let's run this code. So run this code. So 0, 0, FF is continuously moving into P1. At the same time, at the logic analyzer, you can see here the square wave will be generated with some unknown delay. So the delay size is 170, nearly 1, for some point 220, 240, continuously it has been increasing. You can trace your time period also using this logic analyzer. Either you can use while loop or this for loop to repeat certain instruction forever. Okay. Either you can include while here, please look at here. Either you can include while one or for. So have you installed Microvision in your PC? Have you all installed Kale Microvision? So did you try any code? What about others? Boys side. Have you installed Kale Microvision? Please reply, ma. Please respond. So any difficulty have you faced during installation? Please install Kale Microvision and try all your programs, embedded C programs in Kale Microvision, okay? So next program. So previous one is you're toggling the P1 ports with unknown delay. Here, write an 8051C program to toggle bits of P1 ports continuously with 250 millisecond. Okay. For that, we have to calculate some value. Okay. So So first include your header file and define delay function here. Here include delay function. This will be your function name. You can give any name. So using this function, I am passing this value, unsigned int value, okay? So the delay function name is ms delay, okay? So inside my main function, I am moving 55 to P1 and calling this delay function. So this will generate 250 millisecond delay. I will explain that. And next, moving AA to P1 and generate 250 millisecond delay. Okay. So here I am passing the value 250 to this function. Okay. And here this loop will be executed 250, and after that, that is inner loop is 250, outer loop is 1275 times. Okay. So multiply 1.085 microsecond into 1275, approximate calculation. So this is your microcontroller frequency, right? 1085 microsecond is the microcontroller time period. Multiply this value by 1275 is the maximum value given in the loop. Okay. So what is the value? Please tell me. So 1.085 into 1275. So approximately 138 millisecond. So it's approximation method, that is 1275 into 1.085 microsecond. So based on delay, you can increase this value. Okay. So in this way, we can write our delay routines. So here I am passing 250 value. So your outer loop will be executed 1275 times. So that is multiplied with your microcontroller frequency. So on time, that is your waveform is divided into on and off time. Okay. So multiply this 138 into 2, approximately. So 276. So the complete delay is 250, approximately nearly to 250. For on time 130, off time 130. So totally 260. So it's approximate calculation. Any doubts regarding this? So define the function here. Inside the function, you have to include two for loop. One loop is for passing your delay time period. Okay. And this is for 1275. Any doubts? So regarding the calculation,
what is the use of for I equal to 0, I less than I time? Can you explain it once again?
For I is equal to 0, I less than I time, I plus plus.
Yes.
Actually, here this loop will generate 1 millisecond. Okay, the calculation is 1.085 into 1275. It's not 138. Just you find out 1.3. Yeah, 1.3 millisecond. So it's approximately it will generate 1 millisecond. I am passing 250. When this loop gets executed, how many delay will be generated? So how much of the time the delay will be generated? 250 millisecond. Okay. So I have to define two loops. This for 8051, according to your 8051 architecture, this value is fixed. 1275 is fixed based on this frequency. So your outer loop will be 1275. So based on your delay, you have to pass some value, okay, to generate 1 millisecond. Okay, so 1.085 into 1275 is approximately 1 millisecond. Here you have to define your value 250. So when this instruction gets executed, this function will generate 250 millisecond delay. Is that clear? So this loop will generate 1 millisecond. I am passing this value 250 to this particular loop using this variable I time. Okay. And the maximum value is 1275. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
you have to fix this value. 1275 is fixed based on your microcontroller frequency. Okay. And based on your delay, actually according to the problem statement, you have to generate 250 millisecond delay. Okay. So we have to write 1 millisecond delay routine. For that, the value is 1275 into 1085. So this will generate 1.3, approximately 1.3 millisecond. So the value is 250. So every time you have to call this function. So inside the function, you have to define this value 250. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me fix this value. 1275 is fixed. Okay. So let's run this code. So here I have defined this function, and below the main function, I have included all my delay routine instructions. And inside while I'm writing 55 to P1 called delay routine, and AA to P1 and called delay routine. So this routine will generate 250 millisecond delay. So this particular loop, it will generate 1 millisecond. I am passing a value 250. So this complete loop will generate 250 millisecond delay. Okay. So you can trace your time period here, delay time period. So you can see the value is maximum value. If I am placing the cursor here, so the value is going to be 250. So between on and off time, you have to place this cursor, okay? So it will provide your time delay period. So using logic analyzer, we can check our delay time period. So you can see here, the delta was 166, approximately 166 seconds. So the value is continuously toggling at P1. So this is for known delay time period. This program is for known delay time period. Next one is accessing individual port bits. So write an 8051C program to monitor bit P2.5. So you have to monitor your port 2.5 continuously. If it is high, you have to send 55 to P1, otherwise you have to send AA to P1. Please write the code for this program. Here you have to monitor your P2.5. So for that you have to check the status of P2.5 using if else if statements. So the format is more or less similar to your C program. So write a code for this particular application. So first define your variable for P1.5, the P2.5, and inside while check the condition, that is monitor your port bit status, whether it is 1 or 0. If it is 1, you send 55 to P1, otherwise send AA to P1. Has anyone completed? If you have completed, please post your code in the chat box. If P for P2.5 externally you have to assign one variable. So that is the format and that is the structure to be followed. So after hash include you have to assign a variable to P2.5. So what about other students? Have you completed? Rohit. Same correction. So for 2.5 you have to assign a variable. So below your hash include register 51.h, you have to assign variable. Okay, A is equal to P2.5. And inside your main, instead of P2.5, you have to use A variable. Okay. So here is the code. S bit, my bit. My bit is a variable here is equal to P2.5. So I have assigned a variable to P2.5. So according to the application, you have to configure this P2.5 as an input port. Okay, input port pin. Okay. So inside main, you have to make this bit is 1 in order to configure P2.5 as an input port. Okay. And inside while you have to check the status of P2.5. If it is equal to 1, you have to move 55 to P1, else AA to P1. So this step is mandatory. So before accessing your pin 2.5, you have to configure this one as an input port. So let's run this code. So this step is mandatory. Otherwise, your port bits cannot accept the input from user side. Okay. So we have a configure P2.7 as an input port. So just you run this code and modify this particular port pin. This is your P2 point from 2.0 to 2.7. So here is P2.5. Just I'm changing. So based on the input, the content of P1 register can be changed. So if the pin is high, P1 holds 55, otherwise AA. Any doubts? So next, note down the next application. Here, dose sensor is connected to the pin P1.1. So this is your input port pin. Okay, P1.1 is input port pin, and your output will be buzzer. Okay, so buzzer is connected to P1.7. So for this application, we have to write embedded C program to monitor the dose sensor continuously. Okay, and when it opens, we have to sound the buzzer. Okay, so for that case, we need to send the square wave of few hundred hertz. That is, you have to send high to low pulse to P1.7 to sound the buzzer. So which one is input port here? Please tell me which one is input port pin.
P1.
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 And which one is output here? P1.7. Okay. So first you configure P1.1 as an input port pin. Okay. After that, you monitor the status of P1.1. Suppose if your P1.1 is equal to 1, you have to send high to low pulse to P1.7. So if you have completed, you can put your code in the chat box. Completed? So here is the code. Please analyze this code. Here I have defined a function for a delay, that is a generation of delay, and assigned a variable for P1.1 and assigned a variable for P1.7. Okay. And inside main, we have to make P1.1 an input port pin. So you have to write 1 to D sensor. D sensor is nothing but P1.1. Now your P1.1 is ready to accept inputs from user. Okay. So inside while, I'm continuously checking D sensor value. So I will keep on monitoring this status P1.1. While it opens, we have to sound the buzzer. For that, I'm sending high to low pulse to P1.7 by writing 0 to P1.7 and call 200 millisecond routine, and write 1 to buzzer and call 200 millisecond routine. So after your main program, you have to incorporate your MS delay function, which I have explained earlier. Otherwise, you can include if and else also. If it is 1, you have to sound the buzzer. Otherwise, you have to terminate your main. Is that clear? Any doubts up to this? So please note down the solution for this application. So this application is very important. In port programming, the sensor interfacing is very important. Please note down the solution. Any doubts in this program? Okay. So next we are going to learn about 8051 timer models. Your IO port programming is over here. Okay. So next we will move on to high to low means it's square wave, continuous square wave turning on and off. It is a low frequency pulse. We are sending low frequency pulse to buzzer to make a buzzer, that is to make sound the buzzer. High to low means first and 1, then 0, no man. Rohit, I can't understand your statement.
Ma'am, first we are setting buzzer equal to 0, no, ma'am.
Yes, once again.
But then
Either 1 or 0. The first
okay.
1 கொடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா that is right ன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். You can give 1 0 or 0 1. So based on the input, it will toggle.
Okay, ma'am.
Please show the program. Okay. So your 8051 is continuously generating clock pulse. Okay. So suppose if at the execution, if high pulses occur, it's going to be next step is it becomes low, next high. So it will continuously generating square wave for a few hundred hertz.
மேம் ஒரு டவுட் மேம்.
Yes.
மேம் இந்த போர்ட் 1.1 வந்து நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மேம் 1 இன்சைட் பண்றோம் அந்த
இல்ல இப்போ நம்ம யூசர் தான இப்போ இன்புட் கொடுக்குறோம். நான் இப்போ இதை எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ற பாருங்க. 1 செகண்ட். இதை நான் எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ணும்போது தெரியும். இப்போ இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் ஜஸ்ட் consider this program. So இதில் வந்து my bit is configured as input. Okay. So I am trying to modify this particular port pin to 0.7. Okay. So for that case, we have to configure this port as an input. Otherwise, your port will not accept any inputs from the user side. We cannot modify this particular port pin. Okay. So modify panela, that will not be affected in your results. Okay. So if input அப்படிங்கும்போது நான் already several times I have told, several times I have explained. External device or user can write 0 or 1 to particular port pin. For that case, we have to send or we have to write 1 to particular port pins or FF to entire port. Writing once to all the port pins of your 8051 ports. The previous explained பண்ணிப்போம். 1 and write பண்ணாதான் that is configured as a input. So default port configuration is output. So if you are using a particular port pin as an input, you have to write 1. So that is the concept in your IO port programming. I think I have cleared your doubt. So if you have a free time, please try all the codes in Keil Microvision. So embedded C programming is very important for developing real-time application. So you should familiar with this in embedded C. So please try all these program in your Keil Microvision. So next we will go on to timer models. So in case of your 8051 architecture, that is your 8051 comes with 2 timer models known as timer 0 and timer 1. Okay. So both the timers are 16-bit timers, and the single timer model can be configured as timer or counter. Okay. So we have 2 timer models. Timer 0 and timer 1. Okay. So each device can be configured either as timer or counter. So I will explain the difference between timer and counter. Okay. So they can be used either as timer or counter. So timer means actually when they used as timer, they can generate periodic clock delays. So it will generate periodic clock delays or time delays. So it will generate some amount of delay. If particular model is used as timer. Suppose when they used as counters, okay, they count pulses applied to timer input pins, okay. It will count the clock pulses. So that is the difference. For example, you have to generate pulse signal every 30 seconds, okay. So you have to generate a pulse signal or any signal every 30 seconds, then you can use timer feature. For example, if you have to count how many times some sensor triggered alarm or how many times your sensor sends the data to particular hardware model, that case you can use timer as counter, okay. So timers are used to generate time delay, or counters are used to count events happening outside the microcontroller. So that is the difference between timer and counter. So both the timers are 16-bit timers, okay. So the two 16-bit timers accessed as two separate registers of low byte and high byte. I will explain that later. So the basic difference of timer and counter, timer is used to generate some periodic time delays and counter is used to count the events happening outside the microcontroller. So according to the architecture, timer, it will count internal clock pulses. Counter, it will count external clock pulses. So that is the basic difference between timer and counter. Please note down the important points. So timer means it will count internal clock pulses of your microcontroller in order to generate some amount of delay. Counter means it will count external clock pulses supplied or generated by your peripheral devices. It will count external clock pulses. So next class we will see about timer 0, timer 1 register. So for programming 8051 timer models, we must understand few registers associated with these timers. One register is TMOD. So we must understand some special function register. So one is TMOD, other one is TCON. So these two are special function register related to your timer operation. So next class I will explain timer register and also your special function register of TMOD. Okay. Any doubts regarding the difference between timer and counter? Okay. Thank you. So thank you everyone.